friends, it's Amanda from I Am Baker. We are going to make probably the awesomest cookie-inspired dessert of all time. It is caramel chocolate chip cookie bars. It's kind of amazing. We're gonna start with our wet ingredients. Add 2 sticks of room temperature butter, 2 room temperature eggs, and we're gonna add 1.5 cups of brown sugar. And I'm also going to add a little bit of vanilla, just about a teaspoon. And now you can use your stand mixer if you want to keep your hands free, or you can use a handheld mixer just to get these ingredients fully incorporated. Okay, that looks great. It's a little bit lighter. It's definitely increased in volume a little bit, and we're going to add to it our dry ingredients. I need about 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. And then we need just a little bit of baking soda and just about a teaspoon of kosher salt. And then we're gonna mix that up. Start with your mixer on low. You don't wanna wear your cookie dough. I don't wanna over mix my cookie batter. Once the flour has been added in, we want the gluten to do everything the gluten is supposed to do. But now I'm going to add in the chocolate chips, a full 2 cups, which is basically 1 bag. I think it's 11-ounce bag. And this is gonna shock people, but I just use my mixer. It's okay if some of those beautiful little chocolate morsels get broken up. I just think it adds a really gorgeous texture to the cookie. And then I give these to my kids, otherwise they revolt. So now we have our completed cookie dough, and we are going to put this into a 9x13 or a 8x12 or even a 10x15 pan, depending on how thick you want your bars. I'm going to use just about half. I'm gonna get a clean hand and press down. And if you've sprayed your pan, it won't necessarily stick to the pan, which is hard when you kind of want it to stick to the pan a little bit, but you just kind of gotta keep moving it around so it'll spread out in an even layer. And then if you dare it, just kind of gently spread it out a little bit more evenly. You definitely don't want super thick spots, and you want it pretty much up to the edges. I'm going to pop this into a 350-degree oven for just about 10 minutes, which is the perfect amount of time for us to make our caramel sauce while that is baking. So I just grab a sturdy pan and put it over, I want to say medium to medium-high heat. And I'm going to add this entire bag, which is 11 ounces of caramel, right to my pan. And then to that, I'm gonna add 5 ounces of evaporated milk. We don't want it to burn on the bottom. These 2 items, while looking very separate now, will soon become one. All right, just got my chocolate chip cookie bar base, say that 3 times fast, out of the oven, and it just so happens that was a perfect amount of time for our caramel and evaporated milk to come together and form a beautifully thick and creamy sauce. Pause your video, do slow-mo, do whatever you have to do so you can appreciate every second of this glorious caramel going all over these bars. Using clean hands, take little piles of the cookie dough and place it sporadically across the caramel, and be careful with your little fingers there. You want to make sure you're not touching that hot caramel. So I just scraped my bowl with all the last little tidbits, and I can just fill in any spot that might look like it needs a little bit more of that cookie dough. Overall, I think we did pretty great. I'm going to pop this right back into the oven. My house smells amazing. This caramel is bubbling and shiny and gooey. And if you were a normal person at this stage, you would leave this and let it set and cool down just a little, but never been normal. I cannot wait one more second. It actually held its shape pretty well. Obviously, if you let your cookie bars sit for 10-15 minutes, or at least till they get to room temperature, they'll hold their shape beautifully. But that looks so inviting and delicious. I think I'm gonna need to go in for a bite.